Hi everybody, this is Lisa with Verbling.com, and it's time again for another English class. And in this hour we're going to be having a conversation class. So if you would like to practice speaking in English, then you can join this class by clicking on the Join Class button up above the video there. It's a green button. You do need to have a ticket in order to get into the class. The easiest way to participate in Verbling is to become a member. So you pay a monthly fee and you get to take as many classes as you would like. I think they might be running a special right now. I'm not sure, but it has been something like $45 a month, and you get to take as many classes as you would like. We offer English classes, French, Italian, and Spanish classes right now. So if you are interested, maybe Russian too, I'm not sure. They're adding languages all the time. So anyways, I am one of the English teachers. My name is Lisa, and I live in Washington State in the United States, and I do classes at various times throughout the week, and this slot was open today, so I am jumping in here, and I thought we would have a chance to speak, because I know that that is one of the things that people around the world want to do more, is to practice speaking English. I also do writing classes, reading classes, and sometimes listening classes, and then the conversation classes, because I really understand that people want to be able to practice speaking in English, not just reading. Sometimes people are really good in reading, and they can understand everything when they are reading in English, but a little bit more difficult to be able to express yourself using the words that you want in English, and also to understand completely when somebody else is speaking, whether it is a native English speaker or another person who is speaking English as maybe one of their second or third languages. So if you are watching this right now, then you can come in at any time. This is going to be an hour-long class. The time for me is actually 4 p.m. That's 4 in the afternoon, and so I'll be here from 4 to 5. Of course, I don't know what time it is in your area. It could be 9 o'clock, 1 in the morning. We get people joining Verbling classes at all hours of the day. We try to have as many classes online as we can. So I know that after this hour there are a few slots that do not have classes for English. I think maybe there are some Spanish classes coming up in the next hours, but we do have teachers that are located in different countries around the world, and so we try to be able to book classes so that you can take as many classes as you'd like. We try to book the classes every hour on the hour, so if you are interested in taking an English class, you can join every hour. You can check to see what class is happening. Hi there, Tarak, how are you? Tarek?
Tarek, yes, I'm fine.
Tarek, hi there.
Hi, I'm fine.
Good. Where do you live, Tarek? Tarek?
I'm living at Egypt.
Okay. What time is
Yes.
it in Egypt right now?
It's 1 a.m.
Wow. So you're up late.
Yes, I'm at
Good.
work. I'm at
Yeah?
work now.
Okay. Great.
Nice.
I was curious, were you in the last class? I wasn't sure if teacher Chad was able to do his class or not. Some people seemed like they were joining, but were you trying to join that class, or
Yes,
did it work?
yes.
Oh, okay.
There is
Good.
a small mistake, and he fixed it.
Okay. Great.
Okay.
Okay, good. All right, well, maybe some people from that class will show up in this class at some point. We will
Yes.
see. But in the meantime, you and I can start having a conversation.
Okay.
First of all, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself? We are going to talk about education, But tell me a little bit. You said you're living in Egypt now. Are you from Egypt or are you from another country?
No, I'm Egyptian. I'm from Egypt.
Oh, okay. And where in Egypt do you live?
Cairo, the
Oh,
capital.
in Cairo, the capital. Okay. Yes, I have had several students that live in Cairo. Have you been to my classes before?
No, it's the first time.
Oh, okay. Great. Well, welcome. And so how's Egypt these days?
What?
How is it in Egypt, in Cairo right now for you? How is it for you living in Egypt?
There is a curfew now.
Mm,
Curfew.
yeah. What time is the curfew?
In Friday from 6 p.m. Till 6 a.m. or 7 a.m.
Oh, okay.
Because it's the holiday and or the weekend and from Saturday till Tuesday it's from 12 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
till 5 a.m.
Oh, that's because of a holiday?
No, it's the curfew because the army had a
Oh,
coup to the president.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Okay. So what happens during the curfew time? Everybody has to stay off the streets?
yes, no, at home.
Just stay home.
Yes,
Yeah. And is that what everybody does, or are there people trying to go out?
no, it's not acceptable.
Okay, so people take it very seriously then.
Yes, and the
Yes.
first curfew, the serious curfew, it is the first serious curfew in Egypt.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing that. Federico's joined us. Hi there, Federico.
Hi, Lisa. How are
Yeah.
you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I am fine. I am very happy to enter in your class.
Wonderful. I'm happy to have you. I'm glad you came. Tarek is here from Egypt. And where are you from, Federico?
I am from Guatemala.
From Guatemala. Oh, okay.
Right.
Wonderful.
Mm,
Nice.
huh?
Okay.
Yo estoy probando la clase.
All right.
Sí, aquí. Yeah,
You have a
yeah.
friend?
No, I am Spanish. I speak Spanish.
Yeah, I know. I said, do you have a friend there next to
Oh,
you?
yeah, it's a friend here.
Uh-huh. Nice. Okay. Wonderful.
Hello.
Hello. Hi there.
Hello.
My friend.
Yeah, wonderful. Okay, so in this hour, I had planned that we're going to have a conversation related to education. So I thought we could start off by each of you guys can explain what your schooling experience was like. So, Tarek, would you like to go first?
Okay. I graduated from the Faculty of Engineering
Mm-hmm.
at 2011,
Mm-hmm.
and now I'm working for a satellite channel
Mm-hmm.
as a broadcast engineer.
Okay. So that was your university experience. What is school like in Egypt when you're younger? Like when you go to school, when did you start school? What age?
As five,
Oh. Mm-hmm.
yes.
And what is it like when in the beginning years? Is it fun? Do you like sing songs and play games, or is it more like a serious academic?
No, it's playing and funny. It's
Uh-huh.
more fun.
Having
Yes,
fun, singing songs. Yeah,
yes.
good.
And in the first year, yes. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And then it starts
And then,
getting harder.
sure, sure.
So, what types of things do you learn in well, we call it here in the United States the first time a kid usually goes to school, if they didn't go to preschool, it's called kindergarten. And that is about the age of 5, maybe 6, but usually around 5. And then we have the grades, and we have the what we call the lower grades, which would be like first to third grade.
Yes.
And then we have the upper grades, which is like 4th to 6th. Is it similar in Egypt?
It's similar, yes.
Mm-hmm. And then after that, we have middle school. You guys have, and then high school.
We have primary,
Yeah, primary.
yes, and then preparative and primary, preparative, and then secondary. After secondary, it's the university.
Oh, okay. Yeah. University. All right. So how old are you when you enter the university usually?
16.
Oh, 16. Yes. Okay.
And I graduated at 21. Okay.
Great. And when you are in the lower grades, like the primary and the preparatory, what types of things are you learning? Science.
Science and Arabic, the mother tongue.
Yeah.
And science and math.
Yeah.
Mathematical, yes. And the English. And the second language is French.
Oh, okay.
But I took it after I learned it after 3 years. From the beginning, yeah.
Wow. So, at what age do you usually learn English? What age do students start with English?
It's from 5 years.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
In Egypt,
Okay.
it's the second language in Egypt after the mother tongue. After Arabic is English. Yes.
Yeah. So you have Arabic and then English, and then is the third language always French, or can you choose like something else?
French or another language.
Maybe like German or Spanish or something.
Yes, German, but German, but Spanish is available at the secondary level.
Okay. Yeah.
But I don't think in the primary.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So we have a little bit of we call it an overview of what the system is like in Egypt. Federico, tell us what school is like in Guatemala. When do kids go to school, and what do you study, and all that?
Thank you. It's a little difficult to me to understand English. I can speak a little, but to understand it's difficult.
Okay.
We start here in depend on what kind of school you attend. If I attend a private school, so I start with English in seventh year.
7th grade, maybe?
Yeah, seventh. Yeah.
7th grade.
And the first 2 years I studied Spanish because my first language is indigenous language.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, and then I start in second grade with Spanish.
Yeah.
And until in the 7th year I start with English. Oh. But of course it was a private school of the church, so I had a teacher from US. Oh. So I was very fortunate.
Fortunate?
Fortunate.
Yeah, you were fortunate, yeah? You were lucky?
Right. I was very lucky because I had a teacher, native speaking English. So then, but generally, the in my age, the people start with English until in the 7th years and just for a couple years.
I see. Yeah.
Then they study other years without English.
Oh,
so,
okay.
But now the new ages, they my child have English in first day.
Oh, really?
In the Verbling, how do you say it, in the
kindergarten? Yeah, kindergarten.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but in the public school, even they have not much opportunity to study English.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So
it's I don't know exactly how this program works because it's my first time here.
Is this your first time on Verbling? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I can tell you how it works. Right now, so how it works is every hour you look to see what's coming up, and usually a new class is starting. Sometimes there's not a class, but usually we have classes every hour, and then the teacher will start the class, and it will have a topic. So this topic for this class is speaking, conversation. So it's an opportunity for students to speak in English about a topic. This topic is education, school, and sometimes we have just a couple of students, but sometimes at different hours we might have a full class, which is 9 students. And so students can join at any time. And so, for example, Mohammed just joined us, and we can have more people join us, and we just keep the conversation going and keep talking. You can write things in the chat if you want to, if you have questions. And sometimes you can just watch also. If you don't want to participate, maybe you don't have time or you don't have a good microphone or headphones or something, then you can just watch the class. And the classes are also recorded, so you can watch them later if you want to learn something or practice something by listening later.
Oh, nice. Hi, Mohammed.
Mohammed, welcome.
Welcome. From Guatemala, welcome. And the other one, what's the name? The other students?
Tarek.
Tarek.
Yeah,
Okay.
getting the accent.
So I am very sorry with you because it's my first time. Perhaps it's not the correct time to ask the question, but just the last one. It's every time when I want to participate, I have to pay, or how it works?
Okay, you can participate by paying, I think, one at a time, but the best is probably to buy a monthly membership. And if you pay monthly, then you get to take as many classes as you like. So some people take 4 or 5 a day if they have time. Some people just take, a couple a week. So it kind of depends on your schedule and how much you can participate. But
Thank you very much.
Yeah, there's different ways of doing it. Mohammed, is your microphone on?
Yeah, it's on.
Okay, good. Hi there. Mohammed, where are you from? I heard you before, but I don't hear you now. Whoops. So sometimes, Federico, what can happen is people have connection issues. So sometimes if your connection is not strong, you might drop out of the Hangout, but then you can join back in. So Mohammed is doing that right now. So he just dropped out, but he's trying to get back in.
Okay.
Yeah, so sometimes we have technological difficulties with Google Hangouts, but usually it works good. Mohammed, is it working now? And you have to always make sure that you have your microphone turned on. So you can mute your microphone, and if it's muted, then we can't hear you if you're talking. So Federico, what about at the university level? Do many people in Guatemala attend university?
It's not many people. The mostly of the people don't have the opportunity to participate or to attend the university. But yeah, for example, I live in the second city of Guatemala, called Quetzaltenango. So here we have 7 universities. So we have a lot of opportunity to study.
Yeah. Yeah. And
yeah.
Why is it that some people do not have the opportunity? Is it because of money or because they live in different parts of the country and they can't go to the cities?
Both, because many people lives in the rural area, and of course they have not a chance to attend the university. But the other issue is money, because here the education is very expensive. Yeah, we have just one public university.
Oh.
Other it's private.
Okay, the other ones are private, just one public.
Right.
Okay. Mohammed, did you get your microphone working? When you do, just go ahead and talk. Yeah. I see a little line starting, but I still don't hear you. Oops, they're starting some kind of sound.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah.
Hi.
Welcome.
Good. Yeah, welcome to you.
Welcome to
the class. Yeah, Federico was welcoming you earlier, but you dropped out. Mohammed, where are you from?
Yeah, I am from Egypt, from Cairo.
Oh. Okay, so your neighbors maybe with Tarek.
Yeah.
So he was just telling us about the curfew.
Perfume?
The curfew that's happening in Cairo. Do you know what that is?
Sorry, please say again.
الحظر curfew.
الحظر.
Curfew.
Yeah. We have perfume all the time since 2 months from 11 o'clock to 6 a.m. at morning.
Yeah. So I guess that's you either have to go home and go to bed or go on Verbling. since you can't go out.
I feel I life at cage by this perfume.
Yeah. Tarek, how is it affecting you? Do you usually like to go out at that time?
No, I have work.
You're working. Okay.
Yes, I'm working now. But we can have picnic around our houses.
Okay.
But we can't go away to another. Yes.
Like travel or something on the street.
No, or travel or move from or move to another city.
Oh yeah. Okay. Are you saying do you work from home?
No, I'm working for a channel, satellite channel.
Oh, okay. But are you working now? Right now?
Yes, I'm at work, but
you're at work. Okay.
I finished my work. My current work. I finished my current work.
Okay, but when you're done working, can you drive home?
No, it's for 9 a.m.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. All right. And Omar, how are you doing? Omar is Beethoven.
I'm doing very well. What about you, teacher?
Good. Omar, do you also live in Egypt?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so you guys all understand what's happening with the curfew then?
Yes.
Omar, how is that affecting you? the curfew? Do you usually like to go out at night, or is it okay to just be home?
Maybe in holidays I love to go out at night, but in usual days, because of the job or the work, I
Yeah.
can't go at night. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, great. Well, before Mohammed and Omar, before you came in, Federico and Tarek were telling us about the educational systems in their country. So you guys are both from Egypt. So why don't you tell us about your experience in school in Egypt? Mohammed, why don't you go first? What was it like for you in school? And did you go to the university level also?
I finished my school at El Azhar Schools, high school, and I went to Faculty of Commerce, Business Administration at El Azhar University. I am graduate since 2 years, and I work at information technology field at network system at Microsoft.
Okay.
IT professional.
Is Microsoft pretty big in Egypt? Do you guys have a big presence in Egypt?
Yeah. We have Microsoft partner here at Egypt. I work as network engineer.
Network engineer. Okay, good. And Omar, how about you? What was school like for you?
Okay, for me,
Yeah.
school was like fun because I love my memories in my school, of course. And about my education in school, the education was very good. But in English, when I finished my school in my university, actually I'm a communications and electronics engineer.
Okay.
During my first interview, when I had the first interview, the interviewer told me that your English is very bad. And I didn't know. I thought that my English was very good because basically I have been studying English in my school from maybe 2 or 3 years for a very long time. But the main problem, I think that is that I have never had the chance to speak or to express myself in English.
Yeah.
So this was the problem. And about my education in the college, it was also very good because I love this field, but not after I finish the college, I realized that it's very difficult to find a job in this field. But for me, I love this field, communications and electronics, and actually I'm specialized in network.
Okay. So what type of a job do you have right now? Are you working in that field?
Not quite. It's a technical support representative in a company here. It's called ROI. It's a call center for troubleshooting and solving internet problems.
Yeah.
It's not what I want, of course, but it's a good start. It's better than sitting in your home and do nothing.
Yeah. And do you have to speak English in your job?
Yes, I will need to speak English, but with Indians and Filipino and maybe some American and British people. So of course I need to improve my English because my English is not that good.
Well, good. I'm glad you're here. It sounds pretty good though. Okay.
Yes, I know.
So Omar, when you went to school, did you go to a public or a private school?
I think it was a private school.
Okay. So that's what I was wondering. In Egypt, let's see, Tarek, in Egypt, in your opinion, are the public schools good, or do most people try to go to private schools if they can?
Private school.
Yeah.
Sure, for sure. The private schools is better than the public schools. Because in the private schools they have systems or programs for the students.
Yeah.
Um, in general, in Egypt, we have the worst program to learn English. Teacher used to teach English via using Arabic language.
Oh, so they do a lot of explaining in Arabic, but not a lot of speaking in English. Yeah.
Yes, but recently they have a better system in the private schools.
Yeah.
They have the British systems or American systems, and it's more it's better than the public schools.
Public. Yeah. So do they have some native British or American English speakers there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, native.
Yeah. So we had Huyen just joined us. Hi, Huyen.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going well.
Good. So Huyen, tell everybody Federico is new, but maybe some of the other students are familiar with you as another student. Omar, maybe. Huyen lives in Vietnam. So we're talking about the educational systems in each country. And so will you tell us a little bit about what it's like for kids and what it was like for you going to school in Vietnam? Like, when does it start and what do you study, that type of thing?
Yes. We usually start school at 6, and we have 2 systems, private system and the public system, of course. And in my country, the public system is much better.
Oh.
Because we have, it's a system it is built for so many years, and I guess the private system has just started for like 10 years.
Oh, really?
That's why, that's why it's expensive and not as good.
Yeah. So why are they starting private schools if the public school system is pretty good already? Is it a certain type? Usually private schools, sometimes like Federico, he just dropped out, but he was explaining that he went to like probably it was a Catholic church school, a private school. So oftentimes private schools are related to some religious affiliation with the church or something like that. Is that what private schools are like in Vietnam?
No, we're not a religious country, so we don't have private schools for that reason.
Yeah.
Maybe because the government sometimes they cannot afford to open more schools, and people think that they will need to do something about it, so they open a private school.
Yeah. Yeah. So what kinds of things do you learn when you're in public school?
I learn many subjects, maybe 8 subjects. I think that's that's a lot compared with children in the U.S. And
Is math?
Pretty tiring.
Is math?
Yeah,
math, science. Is that a big topics, or more like languages and things like that?
We have all of them.
Everything.
We have math, science, literature, everything. So we have to learn everything. We don't get to choose.
Yeah.
All of them are mandatory.
And how long is the school day in Vietnam?
School day, or how long? That depends on what kind of the level. For example, if you are in elementary school, you may have to study at school for like a day, starting from maybe 7 a.m. until like 5 p.m.
Wow.
And you have lunch at school.
Wow, that's long.
Yeah, that's long.
That's really long.
I think the same goes with secondary school, but if you are in high school, just half of the day. You go to school at 7 a.m. and you go home at maybe 12.
Oh. And how come it's shorter?
I don't know.
Like, do teenagers who are going to high school work afterwards, or do they? I've read about, like, in South Korea, for example, kids in high school, they go to school and then they go to these other schools afterwards to, like, they call them cram schools, I think, where they go and they, like, get special tutoring, maybe in English or math or science or something like that, where they go and they learn, the stuff they were learning in school, but better,
Yeah, the thing goes with me.
Oh.
When I was in high school,
Yeah.
I went to my school
Mhm.
In the morning, and then
Yeah.
in the evening or in the afternoon, I have tutor classes. So
Oh.
it's pretty much all day.
Yeah. So how do kids like that system? Is it just they accept it, or they get tired of that much, or?
Of course, we should accept it because that's what we want. Because our parents tell us that if you want to get in university, you have to study very hard.
Yeah. Is it difficult to get into a university?
Yeah, to get into top-notch school,
Sure.
you have to work very hard.
Mhm. Yeah. And at what age do people usually go to university?
Right after graduation of high school, maybe 18.
Oh, okay. So that's about the same here in the United States. Yeah. Tarek said that in Egypt, you said about age 16 is when people start the university, Tarek?
Yes, it's the average is 16.
Uh-huh.
But I entered the school early.
Oh.
Always I am
the youngest.
Yes, the youngest student in
the class.
In the class, yes.
Did Tarek, did you go to a private school for your primary and secondary, or did you go to
Yes.
the public? Oh, private. Okay.
Private.
What kind of private school was it? Was it affiliated with, like, a church, religion, or something, or just like a private business school, like its own business,
Business, yes, business. All of them
okay.
Business.
It was there. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Hi there, Federico. You came back. Now your microphone is probably muted, so you have to find the microphone and click it so that it's gray, not red. You can find it up above the Verbling chat. If it's red, just click.
It's okay right now?
Yeah, that works now.
Okay, thank you.
So, Federico, Huyen was just telling us about a school in Vietnam, and she said that students study quite hard to get into universities. You told us already that in Guatemala it's not so common for people to have the opportunity to go to the university. But if you do go to the university, what age do you usually go? When do you start the university?
Normally, we start at university at 18 or 18, 19 years. Yeah, and it takes 5, 6 years to complete an career.
A degree, we usually say.
Degree, yeah.
A degree, yeah. Usually the first degree is called the bachelor's degree.
Right, right.
That's what, and then there's, after that, you might get a graduate degree, which is called a master's. And then you might get your PhD, which is a doctorate. That's after your master's degree. So, yeah.
Yeah. We call it here licenciatura.
License, like a licensure. Yeah.
Then master's degree, and PhD. Yeah, but in Guatemala, it's really few people who has a PhD. I think it's it's not much common.
Very common.
It's new here.
It's new. Yeah, Huyen, how is it in Vietnam? Do many people get masters or PhDs?
It's getting more and more common nowadays.
Yeah. And I'm wondering, because in order for people to want to spend so much time getting educated and spending years and sometimes money, actually in Vietnam, is the university free or does it cost money?
We have to pay for university, but it's not that expensive.
Okay.
Yeah, so many people go to universities.
Yeah.
And a lot of them get master's degree.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not one of them.
Okay. What? You just stopped at the bachelor's?
Yes, I
Yeah.
decided. Yeah, I made up my mind that okay, I should stop, studying.
Start working.
Yeah, and start working.
Got it. Okay, Omar.
Yes, teacher.
Is it very common for people in Egypt to get graduate degrees, like a master's degree or a PhD or something?
Yes, here a lot of people love, but not a lot, but some people, after finishing, for example, the college, they want to make master degree and PhD. Some of them want to continue in this career, but not all of the people.
Yeah, sure.
For example, 30%.
Yeah, that's probably the same in the United States. I mean, a lot of times you have to make a decision. Well, I first wanted to ask, is the university in Egypt free or does it cost money?
No, it costs money, of course.
Okay.
But not a lot of money.
Okay, so it's not too expensive.
Yes, it's not very expensive.
Well, because I was talking to some Brazilian people, and they were saying that oftentimes it's a lot of young people go to private schools during the primary and the secondary years, but then if they get into the very good universities in Brazil, then they're free. But you have to pay for school before that. So it's kind of like backwards almost. So I didn't know what it's like in Egypt.
We don't have anything like this.
Yeah. Mohammed, are you with us? Is your microphone working now? Okay, I'll go to Tarek. Tarek, if you're going to the university, how do people pay for it? Is there like a system of loan? Like we have student loans here.
No, it's expensive.
Yeah?
It was expensive.
How did you pay for it? Did you borrow money, or did you just work, or did your parents pay? How does a person pay for it?
For me, I paid all money in the first before the year started.
Oh, you had to pay ahead of time.
Yes. But
is that how? Does everybody have to do that?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What about in Vietnam, Huyen? How does a person pay?
We pay for after. No. Before we start, no. We start the semester and then we pay tuition.
Tuition, yeah. And books and everything?
We buy books from bookstores. We don't buy them from school.
Oh, okay. So is it cheap enough that people can afford to pay for it? Maybe does the family usually pay, or do people have to borrow money to go to school?
Because it's very cheap. I'm not saying that it's very cheap, but it's affordable for at least for my family. So we pay for books and tuition.
Yeah. Okay. And in the United States, oftentimes students, young people who are going to college, they often go to college in a different town. And so a lot of college campuses have dorm rooms, and that's where people sometimes live, especially their first year, the freshman year of school. Is there anything like that in Vietnam, or do people mostly go to a university in the city they live in?
In my country, most universities are located in cities.
Okay.
So if you live in a rural area, you have to move to the city to study. But I live in the city already, so I just have to commute from my house to school every day. Yeah.
So, but if you live in a rural area and you move to the city, are you going to just like where are you going to live? Are you going to live on campus, or do you find like an apartment, and do students live together or not?
Yeah, we have dorms and we also have apartments for students.
On campus or nearby?
Nearby campus.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Omar, what's it like in Egypt? Are there dorms on campuses in Egypt?
Oh, sorry. What is the meaning of dorms?
A dorm is like a part. Like it's called student housing. There's housing for students on campus. So usually it's like a big building with lots of rooms, and in each room there might be one student or two students.
I know it is. No. Because if the people are from not the same city, they will need the dorms, right?
Yeah.
Yes, we have a lot. Yes, we have a lot of dorms here in Egypt, of course. Even for the university, I have a lot of my friends. I had a lot of my friends with me in the college. They were from different cities. They had dorms or something like this.
Yeah. Did they live on campus or just close to campus?
No, close.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes in the United States it's very it's called on-campus housing, is what it's called, and usually it's dorm rooms or individual apartments, and students can go there, and they can also they have what's called a meal plan. So students might also pay, a couple $1,000s for a meal plan, and then for the semester they get to go to a cafeteria and eat all their meals, so they don't cook in their dorms. So that's kind of a typical thing for an American university. It's not the cheapest way to go to school, of course, because you're paying for the room and the meal plan, but oftentimes if you're a first-year student, you go and that's how you meet friends and meet people and get to know the campus and that type of thing. So that's how we do it here. So, Huyen, why did you decide to stop at a bachelor's?
I decided to stop at the bachelor's because when I did my thesis, and I imagined what it would be if I continue studying, and I think that it would be like the same in university, and I don't want to, wait 2 more years just to do the same thing. So
yeah. So you didn't really see a benefit to studying more. Yeah.
Just more knowledge, but nothing more.
But not necessarily. I mean, sometimes people here go to a master's degree just because they love their subject and they want to learn more and more. But usually somebody makes the decision because they think it's going to get them a better job. Like they're going to be qualified for a certain type of job that without the master's degree they won't be hired. Is that true in Vietnam, or right now pretty much mostly a bachelor's degree is good?
Yeah, people think so, but I personally don't.
You don't
because,
see it.
When I was in university, we had a subject named English, and I studied that subject, and I didn't learn much. But when I started learning on my own, I actually learned a lot. So I think that I can self-study.
Right.
And much better than things that they have in school.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that is actually becoming quite popular around the world, and so websites like Verbling and other websites that allow people from all around the world to come and participate in a class or to take a class, you know, through watching videos or listening to podcasts or something like that is really a new way, because it's really cool. If you really are motivated, then you can learn as much as you want at your own pace. So like with Verbling, I mean, some students, you'll see them on all day, all night on Verbling, you know, because they're taking advantage of this resource and taking as many classes as they can because they're very motivated. So that's a new thing that's happening with the internet. Mohammed, is your microphone working yet?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, good. I can hear you. Yeah. So you work for Microsoft. How long have you been working for Microsoft?
I working for Microsoft since 3 years or 4.
So okay, and what types of things do you do there?
The type
On your
of
job.
network engineer at server admin, and we provide service to many clients
Okay.
at server client.
Yeah. So do you feel like your education that you got at the university prepared you for that job, or do you think you learned new things once you started?
No. My education was business administration
Oh,
at
yeah, that's
Faculty
right.
of Commerce, but when I finished my faculty,
Yeah.
I started to search for a job, and I wanted to create a chance for me at as at my country,
Yeah.
and I went to study Microsoft certification at
Oh, okay.
network technical support,
Uh-huh.
and I started by myself and at training center.
Yeah. So you kind of did what Huyen was just talking about. You became your own independent learner, deciding what you needed to do and how you needed to learn it, and so that you could do what you wanted to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Tarek, what about you? Did your education prepare you for what you're doing now?
Yes, for satellite, I'm a communication. It's similar to our like broadcasting, but I wish to. I have a problem or a big problem.
Yeah.
I want to prepare my a master in the German university in Cairo.
Oh.
It's very expensive.
It's a German university?
Yes, in Cairo.
Oh.
It's the best one, the best university in Egypt for engineering.
For engineering, okay.
Yes, in the engineering field.
And what do you want to do after you get that degree? What kind of job will you be able to do better if you get that?
The degree?
Yeah.
Master degree.
Right, but why do you need it?
To get a better job or travel to another country like England.
Uh-huh.
And to build or to build my future. It's my
To catch a big salary.
it's my yes.
What did you say?
A big salary.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Yes,
A big salary. Oh, big salary.
Yeah,
You
big
said.
salary.
Okay, now I
Big
get
salary.
it. Big salary. Yes. Yes.
but
But I guess that's what I'm saying, because that's what Hu Yen was saying is, you know, she realized she was taking classes, but she wasn't learning as much as she could, as much as she could, or as much as she did on her own even. And so in the United States, more and more people are realizing that even if they get a master's degree, it does not guarantee a bigger salary. It might happen, but it's not like a guarantee like it used to be. So I'm wondering if in Egypt, do you feel like it's a guarantee? Like there are few people with master's degrees, so if you are one of them, you'll be hired and be able to make more money. Is that true in Egypt right now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Do you agree with that, Omar?
Not at all, because I think
راجل كذاب.
nepotism has a big role. You know, of course, nepotism. It has a big role, of course, to find a job.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
if you have, or your curriculum vitae is very strong. For example, you have a lot of courses, and your English is it's fluent. You can speak fluent, or you have another language like Spanish, French, German. You will have a job.
Yeah.
We're talking about masters, Omar. Masters.
Yeah, I think he was also trying to bring up the topic that I was talking about in one of my classes earlier this week. The idea that it's called nepotism. That's the idea that you know, somebody gives you a job because you are related to them, or another thing is we talked about the idea of if somebody pulls some strings for you. So oftentimes, it's not just because you are very qualified and you have a good education that you get the best jobs. Sometimes people get good jobs just because of who they know. So it becomes an issue of networking and meeting people and having friends or relatives who know other people. And so because that is true in a lot of areas around the world, it's not a guarantee necessarily to have just more and more degrees or something. But I think what he's saying is, yes, if you really do have a lot of skills, then you will likely get a better job. If you know how to speak English fluently, maybe another language, probably German or something, and Spanish maybe if you want to go to those countries. There's lots of Chinese, of course, nowadays. It's a big language. So is that right, Omar?
Yes, yes, teacher. You're right.
Okay. Yeah. Is that, Huyen, have you talked about that before, Omar? Is that true in Vietnam too, the idea of people getting jobs based on who they know kind of thing?
Yeah, it's very common here. And it's a sad story.
Yeah. It's it can be difficult, especially if people are getting jobs that they are not really qualified for. That's one of the bigger problems. Yeah.
I have to tell you that actually I get a job because I and my boss are neighbors. And, and she offered me a job, and I said, well, okay.
Yeah. Are you doing that now?
Yeah.
That job?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Kind of a manager, I think.
What type
Sometimes people will believe, you know, those they know from the childhood.
Yeah.
She knows me, and she trusts me other than other people.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing to hire people that you know, especially small business people. Like I own a cafe, and I've hired a lot of people who were friends of friends who had experience, and we know them and we trust them, and you know, so it just makes it easier rather than trying to hire somebody you don't know. You're only looking at a piece of paper that says that they did this or that. So yeah, it depends. You know, the government is more where the nepotism happens. It can be a problem in the government agencies and working for the government. But sometimes when small businesses, especially, you know, just like your boss just hired you because she likes you and you know, trusts you and probably thinks you could do a good job. So, how are you liking your job?
Yeah, I'm enjoying my job. Sometimes I get very nervous and you know, stressed. But,
yeah, stressed out.
Yeah, I believe that I'm doing the good job.
What type of
good work?
You're doing a good job. What type of business is it?
It's a shoes company. Yeah.
Oh, she designs them or creates them or?
We trade shoes.
Oh, trading shoes. Is it is it just locally or like with other countries or in Vietnam?
Actually, it's pretty young. It's a young country. I mean, like it's over 1 year old.
A young company?
And yeah, it's expanding itself, and we're expecting that we can do, we can export in the next year.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you must know about Zappos in the United States.
Of course.
Okay. I don't know that much about it, but it's a big shoe company.
Yeah, but we're more of a wholesale.
A wholesaler, yeah, not a retailer.
Yeah, a wholesaler. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys for coming. Our class is over now. I'm glad you guys came to class and that you were able to speak about education. What I like to do in the speaking classes is just come up with lots of different topics, because part of being fluent in English is to be able to talk about whatever topics come up. So sometimes it's easier to stay with just the topics that we really know and that are maybe a little easier, but I like to be able to bring in different topics. Sometimes earlier we were talking about censorship and things like that. So if you guys ever have any topics that you want me to bring up in the class, in the conversation class, then I'm happy to allow you guys to lead the conversation more and see where it goes, and then I help out with the vocabulary and helping you make sure that you say things correctly. But you guys did a good job. Does anybody have any questions before we end the class?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay. Yeah?
I am a broadcast engineer, or I am a broadcasting engineer, or a broadcast engineer.
I think you could say any of those. Broadcasting engineer or a broadcast engineer. Yeah. I think any of those. Let me look it up real quick here and just see. Broadcast engineering. Yep. I would say that when I Google it and it comes up like employment, the people looking for jobs, they are listing it as broadcast engineer.
Broadcast engineer, okay.
Yeah, broadcast engineer jobs. Yeah, so it looks like that's a pretty popular field.
Okay.
Look for a job in the United States. You can get a job in Los Angeles or Atlanta. Or
Okay, I will join.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, Huyen?
Are you free on weekends?
Am I what?
Free. I mean, do you have free time on weekends usually?
On the weekends? Yes, sometimes I do. Yeah.
Oh. Can you offer more classes on weekends? Because I only have time off.
On the weekends?
On the weekends, and there are not many classes.
Yes, I am going to be starting to do more classes, and on the weekends I do have one on Saturday scheduled right now. What times are good for you?
This time. I mean, a little later. Okay.
And this time and later or earlier?
Later.
Later. Okay. All right. Yeah, those are good times. Okay. Yeah, I can do that.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, guys. Thanks for joining, and take care. I'll see you another time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Hi, everybody. This is Lisa with Verbling.com, and it's time again for another English class. And in this hour, we're going to be having a conversation class. So if you would like to practice speaking in English, then you can join this class by clicking on the Join Class button up above the video there. It's a green button. You do need to have a ticket in order to get into the class. The easiest way to participate in Verbling is to become a member. So you pay a monthly fee and you get to take as many classes as you would like. I think they might be running a special right now. I'm not sure, but it has been something like $45 a month, and you get to take as many classes as you would like. We offer English classes, French, Italian, and Spanish classes right now. So if you are interested, maybe Russian too, I'm not sure. They're adding languages all the time. So anyways, I am one of the English teachers. My name is Lisa, and I live in Washington State in the United States, and I do classes at various times throughout the week, and this slot was open today, so I am jumping in here, and I thought we would have a chance to speak, because I know that that is one of the things that people around the world want to do more, is to practice speaking English. I also do writing classes, reading classes, and sometimes listening classes, and then the conversation classes, because I really understand that people want to be able to practice speaking in English, not just reading. Sometimes people are really good in reading, and they can understand everything when they are reading in English, but a little bit more difficult to be able to express yourself using the words that you want in English, and also to understand completely when somebody else is speaking, whether it is a native English. Hi there, Federico.
Hi, Lisa. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I am fine. I am very happy to enter in your class.
Wonderful. I'm happy to have you. I'm glad you came. Tarek is here from Egypt. And where are you from, Federico?
I am from Guatemala.
From Guatemala. Oh, okay. Right. Wonderful. Nice.
Huh?
Okay.
Yo estoy probando la clase.
All right.
Yeah.
You have a friend?
No, I am Spanish. I speak Spanish.
Yeah, I know. I said, do you have a friend there next to you?
Oh, yeah. It's a friend here.
Uh-huh. Nice. Okay. Wonderful.
Hello.
Hello. Hi there.
Hello.
My friend.
Yeah, wonderful. Okay, so in this hour, I had planned that we're going to have a conversation related to education. So I thought we could start off by each of you guys can explain what your schooling experience was like. So Tarek, would you like to go first?
Okay. I graduated from the Faculty of Engineering at 2011. And now I'm working for a satellite channel as a broadcast engineer.
Okay, so that was your university experience. What is school like in Egypt when you're younger? Like when you go to school, when did you start school? What age?
As five.
Oh.
Yes.
And what is it like when in the beginning years? Is it fun? Do you like sing songs and play games, or is it more like a serious academic?
No, it's playing and funny. It's
having fun, singing songs. Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
And the first year, yes.
Yeah. And then it starts getting harder.
Sure.
We will see, but in the meantime, you and I can start having a conversation. First of all, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself? We are going to talk about education, but tell me a little bit. You said you're living in Egypt now. Are you from Egypt, or are you from another country?
No, I'm Egyptian. I'm from Egypt.
Oh, okay. And where in Egypt do you live?
Cairo, the capital.
Oh, Cairo, the capital. Okay. Yes, I have had several students that live in Cairo. Have you been to my classes before?
No, it's the first time.
Oh, okay. Great. Well, welcome. And so how's Egypt these days?
What?
How is it in Egypt, in Cairo right now for you? How is it for you living in Egypt?
There is a curfew now. Curfew.
Yeah. What time is the curfew?
In Friday from 6 p.m. till 6 a.m. or 7 a.m.
Oh, okay.
Because it's the holiday and or the weekend, and from Saturday till Tuesday, it's from 12 a.m. till 5 a.m.
Oh, that's because of a holiday?
No, it's the curfew because the army had a coup to the president.
Yeah. Okay. So what happens during the curfew time? Everybody has to stay off the streets?
Yes, no, at home.
Just stay home.
Yes.
Yeah. And is that what everybody does, or are there people trying to go out?
No, it's not acceptable.
Okay, so people take it very seriously then.
Yes, and the first curfew, the serious curfew, it is the first serious curfew in Egypt. Yes.
Wow. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Federico's joined us. So, what types of things do you learn in, like, well, we call it here in the United States, the first time a kid usually goes to school, if they didn't go to preschool, it's called kindergarten. And that is about the age of 5, maybe 6, but usually around 5. And then we have the grades, and we have what we call the lower grades, which would be like 1st to 3rd grade. Yes. And then we have the upper grades, which is like 4th to 6th. Is it similar in Egypt?
It's similar, yes.
And then after that, we have middle school. You guys have, and then high school.
We have primary.
Yeah, primary.
Yes, and then preparative and primary, preparative, and then secondary. After secondary, it's the university.
Oh, okay. Yeah. University. All right. So how old are you when you enter the university usually?
16.
Oh, 16. Yes. Okay.
And I graduated at 21. Okay.
Yes. Great. And when you are in the lower grades, like the primary and the preparatory, what types of things are you learning? Science.
Science and Arabic, the mother tongue.
Yeah.
And science and math.
Yeah.
Mathematical, yes. And the English. And the second language is French.
Oh, okay.
But I took it after I learned it after 3 years. From the beginning, yeah.
Wow. So, speaker or another person who is speaking English as maybe one of their second or third languages. So, if you are watching this right now, then you can come in at any time. This is going to be an hour-long class. The time for me is actually 4 p.m. That's 4 in the afternoon. And so I'll be here from 4 to 5. Of course, it's, I don't know what time it is in your area. It could be 9 o'clock, 1 in the morning. We get people joining Verbling classes at all hours of the day. We try to have as many classes online as we can. So I know that after this hour there are a few slots that do not have classes for English. I think maybe there are some Spanish classes coming up in the next hours, but we do have teachers that are located in different countries around the world, and so we try to be able to book classes so that you can take as many classes as you'd like. We try to book the classes every hour on the hour, so if you are interested in taking an English class, you can join every hour. You can check to see what class is happening. Hi there, Tarak. How are you? Tariq?
Tariq, yes, I'm fine.
Tariq, hi there.
Hi, I'm fine.
Good. Where do you live, Tariq? Tariq?
I'm living at Egypt.
Okay. What time is it in Egypt right now?
It's 1 a.m.
Wow. So you're up late.
Yes. I'm at
Good.
work.
Yeah?
I'm at work now.
Okay. Great.
Nice.
I was curious, were you in the last class? I wasn't sure if teacher Chad was able to do his class or not. Some people seemed like they were joining, but were you trying to join that class or?
Yes, yes.
Did it work?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
There is
Good.
a small mistake and he fixed it.
Okay. Great. Okay, good. All right. Well, maybe some people from that class will show up in this class at some point.